Hey you guys, so welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be doing our monthly favorites. We're going to be talking about all the products that I've been loving for the month of March. Sorry, we're just in April now. Did film this, but I had some issues here recently, which is why we didn't have a video go up on Sunday. So now I'm refilming this, which is good because I kind of remember everything I spoke about, and that way I feel like this video is going to go a little bit faster. So let's get diving right into this. We're going to start off with foundations because I feel like the past month and a half to 2 months, I have really been testing out quite a few foundations. A lot of foundations have dropped, and with that, I feel like I've been able to test out quite a few things and really try out some new products that I've really been enjoying. So the very first one I've been enjoying is the Full Spectrum by COVERGIRL. This here is Matte Ambition. The one thing about this is that I cannot use just one because it doesn't work for me. Like, there isn't one shade that's right for me. So I do have to mix this with 2 shades. People have been asking me about this, about my thoughts on this product, whether or not I like it. Now, when we are speaking in regards to comparing it, because I feel like that's the best way to compare it, I do like this foundation. I like it for certain reasons, but when I compare it to like the COVERGIRL 3-in-1, the Matte Made, I think it is, the Matte Made one, and then this one, I would definitely say that this one would be number 2. So the COVERGIRL 3-in-1 is still by far my favorite one, and then you would have the Matte Ambition, and then you would have the COVERGIRL Made one, or the Matte Made one. That's how I would put those all 3 together. This one definitely, I like it better than the third one because I feel like this keeps me matte a little bit longer than the other one, and I feel like it still makes my skin look pretty darn good throughout the day. It isn't as long wearing as the COVERGIRL 3-in-1. I feel like that is like solid foolproof foundation right there, but it's a good foundation. The next one I have here is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. Now, I'm sure tons of people have been adding this to their monthly favorites, and there is a good reason for it. I'm actually wearing this today, but I did combine it with my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. So far, I'm really enjoying it, so definitely a winner. So the last one I have is actually something that we received in our Ipsy bag, and this here is the Hey Honey Trick and Treat CC Active Moisturizing Cream with Honey and Propolis. Whew. So this is the one that I got, was in light to medium tan. You don't need a lot. It doesn't look like I've really gone through a whole lot, but I really have, actually. I use about, let's say about that much. Now keep in mind that I use this on an everyday basis, so this isn't something that I'm looking to wear and get super full coverage or anything like that. This is something that I wear when I want to just give myself an even base, when I want to cover the imperfections, when I want to cover the hyperpigmentation. This is definitely comparable to the IT Cosmetics CC cream, which is by far my favorite thing to wear in the summer for like everyday wear, but my biggest problem with it is that they have a pretty terrible shade range selection, and I think I had like tan and it was still way too dark for me. So when I found this, I was really excited by it because I felt like it was like a perfect match. It does have a little bit of like an ashy tone to it, but once you put on bronzer and you set it and everything, you barely can see it. So I'm super excited about this. I told myself once I finished this, I was definitely going to get a full-size version of this. Normally every summer I pick up one of the IT Cosmetics CC creams. This is definitely going to be the one that I pick up for this summer. I actually have a few primers to talk about. This is actually part of my Shop My Stash, so I have been testing it out, playing around with it, and I really like it. If you're looking for something that is pore minimizing, this is not going to be it. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to minimize your pores. But if you are looking for something that is going to give you a little bit of hydration, it's going to give a good tacky base for your foundation, and it just makes everything look nice and it makes your skin look a little bit healthier, this is definitely the one. So the last primer I have is the YENSA Tone Up Essential Glow Primer. This is actually one that I have really been enjoying. I've had it in my collection for a little while, but I decided to pull it out and really try to make it work and see what I think about it. I will say that it's supposed to like blur fine lines and imperfections and stuff like that. It's got like a little bit of a milky color to it, and what I find is that it actually kind of tones down any redness or any discoloration just a little bit before I go in with my foundation. It also does dry to a nice like velvet finish, so it's really soft on the skin. Your skin feels really nice and hydrated. The base isn't super tacky, but it's a nice feeling. Sometimes I like to wear it without makeup because I find that it'll just reduce the redness that I have on my skin just a notch, and it'll make my skin look a little bit healthier. So that one I've really been enjoying. So this is actually one that I've pulled into my Shop My Stash. I wanted to mention this one because I feel like this is kind of still the standout product in my Shop My Stash. There it is. And it's the KEVYN AUCOIN, the Contour Book, The Art in Sculpting and Defining Volume number 3. And I think I mentioned this in last time I talked about it, but I have to mention it again. I use this one here to contour my nose, and then sometimes I mix them together to chisel out my cheeks. This here is a blush shade, so you can mix it together and get like a nice ombre effect blush. You can definitely make it satin, you can make it lighter, darker. That's the nice thing about these ombre blushes. But this palette here, I do believe you can still pick it up at Sephora. What do we have next? Let's do palettes, right? Like, let's talk about some palettes here. I love this palette. I don't like the opening and closing it because it's kind of hard. So I feel like I hurt my finger every time I open it and close it. But absolutely, by far, such a great neutral palette, y'all. I love the top shades are much bigger in size because those are your more standard matte shades that you use. You've got warm tones in here, cool tone colors, neutral colors. You really can create quite a bit, and I use this in conjunction with a lot of other palettes that I have. I typically, if I'm doing like an everyday, just a really easy look, I will go in and just use this color right here. And then I will take this color just right on the inner corners. If I want to add a little bit more sultry look, I typically tend to go in with this one. I like more of like that taupe-ish color, so I like to put that all over my lid. But I like the pan sizes, I like the mirror size, I like the packaging on this. The formula in here is very different than some of the other NARS products that I own that have like eyeshadows in them. This is a good palette to try out. Let's go ahead and throw in some skincare really quickly into here because I only have 2 products and I think they're going to go pretty quickly. So the first one I have is the Yes 2 Clear Skin Detoxifying Charcoal Zit Zapping Dot. This is what they look like, and they're supposed to have salicylic acid on them. They have red ones and black ones that come in with this package. I put it on my skin, it fell right off, and I thought maybe it was because the moisturizer I had on was not holding on to the thing, so I was like, oh well, it's the moisturizer. So next day I tried it again, tried it on bare skin before I applied any serum or any moisturizer, so that way I can make sure that that salicylic acid was really on that pimple. Couldn't get it to stick on. Like I finally got one to stick on, and then halfway through the night it fell off. It didn't do anything. I mean, like, I didn't see that much of a difference anyways. So in my opinion, it wasn't as good. I was a little sad because I really wanted this to work out. I was hoping that this would be a good dupe for the ones by the other brand because I really do like those, but they are around 20 bucks and I think you only get like 12 of them. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But I am trying out these here, which is the Peace Out Dark Spots. Each of these stickers have little micro needles, and you're supposed to put it on the dark spot. And you want to make sure that you put it on the dark spot for at least 6 hours twice a week for 2 consecutive weeks. And I have been testing it out. Let me tell you, the first time I used it, I was like, oh wow, like it doesn't sting, but you know those like roller needle, the derma rollers, they're kind of like that. And when you press on it, it kind of gives like a little bit of a tinging sensation, but then you want to do it again. Do you know what I mean? Because you're just like, wow, like it's kind of interesting. I've used it twice, and I can definitely say that my dark spot that I had right here is diminishing a little bit more. Like, it's not super crazy, but I can definitely see that there is a noticeable difference there. So I'll keep you guys informed. I'm planning to use the rest of these up, and then I'll put it in an empties, and then my empties, I'll update you more. But so far, I thought this was a really cool product. I do have another eyeshadow palette I did want to mention. I actually used it today. I try to use as many of these products today as I could, so that way when I do my monthly favorites, you guys can see a clip of me using it, and that way you guys can see why I like it. So this here is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Eyeshadow Quad. This is a part of their limited edition, the Bed of Roses collection, I want to say, or Rebel Rose. There it is. Rebel Rose collection. And this one here, it's called Bed of Roses. So that's what, I don't know what I was thinking. But this one here, I got 2 palettes in my first impressions that we did. I picked up 2 of those palettes, and this one I have been in love with. The other one I do like, but I feel like a lot of those colors are kind of similar colors that I like go to because they're safe. And for some reason, I really like the vampy look to this palette. I have this all over my eyes today and then another color on my lid, but sometimes I'll just go in and use this all over my lid and it's just so beautiful, you guys. Like, this palette was so well thought out. I have 2 flops and then 2 mascaras. So let's talk about the mascaras and then we'll finish with the flops. So the 2 mascaras I'm going to mention, which I did both reviews on for, are the COVERGIRL Exhibitionist Mascara and the Volumizing Mascara by ColourPop. Both of these are very similar. I mentioned it in my videos that they have very similar wands. So you can see that the wands are really similar. They're very fluffy and they're very thick. So they are going to be really similar as far as giving you that voluminous lash that you want on your eyes. I definitely would say that it's not going to give you a bunch of length, but it's really going to give you volume. I really like the Exhibitionist a little bit more than I like the COVERGIRL one. That's the one I used today. I used the Exhibitionist today, and it's the one I've been using quite often here recently. The one thing I did notice is that this one is starting to dry out a little bit faster than this one. So this one kind of reminds me a little bit of the Lancome Monsieur mascara. I love that mascara, but that one's like kind of like a, you have to use it every day because if you let it sit for a little too long, it'll dry out, but it's a good mascara. Do like this one. I don't find any flaking with it. I found it to be very comparable to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but again, this one doesn't flake. It's really good. And then lastly, to finish off, we're going to talk about some flops. I have 2 flops. So the first one I have is a brow pencil, and this here is the COLAB Shape and Shade Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. The shade that I have is in Ash Brown. I do love the color. The color is really great. I really wish it would work for me because the color I feel like is spot on for what I need. But what I find with this one is that it pulls and tugs at my eyebrow hairs. This was part of my Shop My Stash, and so I decided to stop using it and just pick out another one. And then the last one I have is another primer, and it is the Milani primer. I actually threw it away the other day because I was so mad at it that I ended up tossing it, and I completely forgot to hold on to it for my monthly favorites. But it is the Prime Shield. I don't know what is in that, but whatever's in there broke me out so bad. And you guys probably noticed here this past month that I had really bad breakout right here, and I'm still trying to clean it all up from how bad it got, you guys. It got so bad that I broke out really bad. I had a pimple so bad right in this area right here that it turned black. Like, that's how bad my pimples were. Like, just full on stripes of like pimples, and I knew it was the primer. I just knew it was the primer. It ruined my skin, and because of that, I have to put it in my flops because it just didn't work for me, and I've been working at repairing my skin from it. It's just, I had a really, really bad experience from it, so I've never had a product that like broke me out or gave me like a rash or anything, and I finally found one, and it is really crazy. So that there's my March favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what was the greatest part of your March month. If you guys want to subscribe, if you guys are new to my channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And thank you all so much for spending some time with me, taking some time out of your day to hang out with me. If you guys want to watch a couple more of my videos, I'll have some linked right in this area. I will see you guys all in my next video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.